So hello, love. I've done this video about 5 times today, so I'm going to try doing it one more time and see how it turns out. So sometimes you just kind of have to laugh at yourself and enjoy the process along the way. So this is a story about me. It's a personal story about me that happens about 30 years ago when I was the head concierge at the Brown Palace Hotel. Now, the Brown Palace is a hotel it's about 130 years old. It was built in the late 1800s. It's a European style hotel, and it was brought over to Denver, or built in Denver, to bring some of that European history, European style to a town that was just in its beginnings. It was pretty much a cow town, and it was just getting going, and there were a lot of things that were really exciting about what was going on in Colorado in the late 1800s. So I got to work there at 2 different times, and this particular job I had was my very favorite job that I've ever had, because I really got to help and serve people in ways that was really fun. But this particular story I'm telling you today was a personal story that happened to me. So have you ever had a conversation with someone that lasted maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but that conversation changed your life for the better? This is a story about that. Because it was a beautiful day. It must have been summertime because the sun was shining directly overhead down into the lobby, and the sun was coming through the stained glass windows, which are about 8 stories above the lobby, and they shine beautifully down into the lobby, down into the golden onyx walls and all of the details of the railings and the antique lighting features that are all in gold, and the colors of the carpet and all the upholstery and just all of that. It was so pretty. The plants and the flowers and everything that were there in the lobby was beautiful. But it was a really busy time because it was about noon, and people were coming and going from lunch, and I was just standing by my desk greeting people as they came by, and I didn't see the man approach me to the left when he said, "Do you know what your name means, lassie?" Because he could read my name tag. And I was enchanted by his Scottish brogue. I have Scottish roots, and I just was very enchanted by him. And he was a man who was about my age. He had dark curly hair and sparkling blue eyes, and he was smiling because he knew he caught me by surprise with that charming dialect of his. And so I said, "Well, I don't know the meaning of my name, but I think it's French." And he said, "Actually, the spelling of your name is Scottish. The dice part of your name means to hold her close." Well, I smiled again, and he just continued to say, "It's a nautical term. It means to hold the sail close to the ship so the ship goes in the right direction." Well, he caught me by surprise again, but this time I was really pondering whether or not I was true to my name. And I said to him, I said, "Well, I think I'm going in the right direction. I do believe my parents named me correctly." But it caught me off guard to then later on ponder if that was really true or not. We exchanged names, and he told me, who he was and kind of what he was doing, and I don't remember any of it now because my whole thought process was kind of wrapped around what he told me that really caught my interest. I did look up his name on the roster to see if he was a guest of the hotel, and he was not. And I never saw him again. And I hope that if he sees this or knows about this video, that he knows how greatly I appreciated what it is he said to me that day, because it changed my life. I went on there after some time. I ended up stopping a relationship that wasn't healthy, and I'm not saying that was about the man that I was involved with. I was with him for about 5 years. It was certainly my responsibility as well, but it wasn't working, and so we ended that relationship. I also left my job at the hotel because I wasn't getting paid very well, and I couldn't see myself being a concierge for much longer. I wanted to do more with my life. So I went back to art school, and got my degree as in visual communication, which is graphic design and illustration. So I know that you know that I'm paint. If you've watched me for any times through these videos, that I do a lot of paintings, and that is my muse. That's what I love to do, is my art, and I've done all kinds of different types of artistic things, and I'm never happy unless I am doing that. It might be sewing clothes. It might be I was a florist for 29 years. In painting and illustration, I was a graphic designer for quite a while. I had a jewelry business for 10 years where I made and sold jewelry and enjoyed it. So I've done all kinds of things, and I continue to do so. And I'm always trying to generate something within me that's true to my name. So I'm going in the right direction. Okay? So I invite you to look at, first of all, check out your own etymology of the name that you were born with, all of your different names and the name, your last name. Also check out, maybe you've changed your name, and check that out too, and just see how the meanings of your name and how they truly resonate with who you are. You might be really surprised how true they are. I have written many novels, and with every character I had in the book, I checked out the etymology of the location where they are, the historic time frame where they were, and what their character was like. And I looked for names that had meanings that would demonstrate the very character that they were. So that was real important to me in doing that through. So I'm very fascinated by that kind of thing. I also would invite you to check out your ancestry. In this case, I have Scottish roots, and I'm very proud of that. But I also have a whole lot of other roots. And in understanding my ancestry, there are an awful lot of people in my ancestry of which I have a lot of qualities and gifts and talents of which some of these people had as well. And also understanding your ancestry, knowing that everyone that came before you is why you're here. It also helps you to understand that what it is you're doing also sets the tone for future generations, or for the people that you serve, who also serve the generations of people that they are in. Because we're all in this together. Yes, we are. We're all in this together. And what you do affects my life. What I do affects your life, and the lives of the people in my family and my friends and my animals, my neighbors, everyone that I'm a part of in my life. And I know that's true about how they affect my life as well. So going about your life is setting the sail close to the ship so you go in the right direction, and however you want to term that, it's a metaphor for your life. And so I too am constantly checking to see if I'm going in the right direction. And sometimes I get a little bit off course, and so it's coming right back again. So I'm heading towards my destination of what it is I'm wanting to achieve and wanting to obtain for my livelihood and for those people I'm serving, but mostly for what it is that I'm doing in my life and how I am in service to myself, so that I can be my greatest self, so I can serve in greater ways for everything else that I do in life. So the painting behind me, as I'm sure you've already figured out, is a representation of what I've just told you about. It started out with a drawing, which was, at first I was going to do it kind of like that neurographic style, of which I'm just beginning to do, but it was a little bit too much. So I made it even more simple than my drawing. And as you can see right here, it's a sailboat that has its sails set as it's going across, the waves on the sea. It's going through the sunset here, and the sun is going down, and as the moon is shining upon the clouds with starry skies overhead. And you can't see it from here, but there's a shooting star right there. Because I'm very enchanted and very inspired by the starry nights and by anything that has to do with water, whether it's the sea, whether it's the rivers, lakes, clouds, sunsets. All of that has to do with our atmosphere in which we live. And so may you know just how important you are. May you understand that your magnificence is certainly about what you're doing in your life, but it also comes from the roots of which you come from your ancestry, from that which you are also leaving as a legacy for the generations that are heading before you. And it's not just for the people in your family, but it's also for all the people that you serve, because what we do affects everyone around us, and how everyone that we come across has an energetic way of affecting us in good ways, hopefully, and sometimes not. But it's also knowing that when you are off course and maybe it isn't something you want to do, you can just adjust and set your sails again to go in a direction of the way you want to go. It's all about, keeping that pathway, keeping that trajectory set, and knowing that the destination of what you're having is for the greater good of who you are. And so I leave you with that today. And please know, just as Grandma always used to say, love you bunches. And I mean it. May you know just how greatly you are loved, just how important you are, and how life unfolds in ways that are just miraculous as you figure out who you are and how you're doing this in ways that are just right for who you are. And you look back on your life and go, wow, that was great. That was great how life turned out. And knowing that what it is you're doing now with great intention and great purpose is setting the sail for your ship, so your ship goes in the right direction. Bye for now. Lots of love.